Hey everyone, John from Beyond ARTV. I just got done, actually just seconds ago, watching the entire Chester Forever concert, a memorial tribute to Chester Bennington, who unfortunately took his own life on July 20th of this year. But this was a celebration of his life through his band Linkin and through many other guests. And today, I'm just going to give you my thoughts on everything that went down. There was so much, so I cannot recap everything, but I want to give out my feelings on why I felt like this was such an emotional evening. Not just emotional in the sense that sadness is the only feeling I had, but also so many joyous moments. And I say first and foremost, this is one of the biggest events that I have ever seen in rock, especially in the 21st century. Just primarily, rock music, which is what Linkin Park was known for, and all of these people coming together, being on stage. It was unbelievable. And regardless of whether I liked every single person that came on there in terms of their music and that sort of thing, I have to say that I have to push those feelings to the side because they all came together for one amazing cause. And that is Chester Forever. Make Chester proud. Fuck depression. Mental illness is so prevalent, and I think that this event raised so much awareness. I was really stunned at how many people tuned in, and it just goes to show you how many people still care and love this band so much. And you just don't see that. It's so rare that you see somebody have such an impact. And I know Chester has to be somewhere just smiling down on this. And he would have been so proud of the event that occurred this evening and whenever you're watching this video. So the concert started off with minimalism. And I think that that's exactly what should have been done. If they had come out with, a loud, angry song or something like that, it just would have been like, I don't know. It just maybe wouldn't have felt like it would have been in right taste. But here, they opened up with a little medley. You hear a little bit of Roads Untraveled, a little bit of a couple of other songs that are very just brooding, stirring of emotions, and I got emotional right away, honestly. As soon as I saw the light shine on all of the members of Linkin Park, and you see that one empty microphone right there. If you don't know me or my channel, and if you don't know anything about my history with Linkin Park, I've been a massive fan since 2005. They were one of the bands that changed my life, one of the first bands that ever got me into music. And that first full-length song, whenever they started playing Numb, they had a few interplays with other songs, and then Mike was doing a little bit of singing. Mike Shinoda, that is, I guess now the lead singer of this band. But whenever that first song, Numb, came on, and all that was there was the instrumental, no voice, that, as much as it hurt, that's exactly what we needed. It's a reminder of what depression can do, and it can take those loved ones from us. And I feel so much for the bandmates, and especially his wife, Talinda, who gave a beautiful message at the end of this ceremony and that memorial that we had for Linkin Park and just celebrating his life. But that first full-length song, Numb, played in full, I've become so numb is the only appropriate statement I feel like to really just set what I feel like the crowd might have felt and what everyone watching. And I was amazed that about 200,000 people were watching at one point, and I was just live streaming on YouTube, and not to mention everybody at the Hollywood Bowl in California. It was incredible, but the feeling that I felt in that moment whenever Numb started playing and right whenever those vocals should have come in, right after that opening electronic part, there was nothing. And you can tell it takes the crowd a second to pick up on that because they're stunned because there was no guest vocalist. There was no special guest for that song. It was just silence. And that's something that is very, very hard to accept still to this day. I haven't spent a ton of time listening to Linkin Park's music since Chester's death just because it is very, very hard. But I guess I should say most of the emotional parts for me in terms of my tears and crying, that was probably the hardest part, other than a couple of other moments that popped up, some very sad songs, especially a couple of the ones from the new album, like One More Light with Mike singing and just seeing him having such a hard time. And I once again just lost it on Roads Untraveled. It's one of my favorite songs ever. It's off of Living Things, and it's always been such a comforting song to me, even before Chester left this earth. But to see it performed here in this setting, and to see Mike in that intro, where it was just him really, and the backing instrumental very, very minimal, to see him struggling clearly to keep his composure. So much respect to him for doing a 3-hour event like this and managing to keep it under control and to mainly be all smiles. That is phenomenal, especially whenever you were down a man that has been with you for 2 decades almost. That is incredible to not only Mike, but everybody involved in, everybody in Linkin Park, and just all of the guests. I have to say thank you for coming out and doing such an incredible job for the fans, not just myself. That would be selfish to think that this is just for me. It's for the entire fan base. There were so many moments that made me just say, yes, like, I can't believe that we're seeing this, and I can't believe that we're able to celebrate this, and such a horrible tragedy brought us together in this way. But it was absolutely so amazing to see something like Jonathan Davis from Korn, and then the guys from System of a Down to come in and do an absolutely just enthralling version of Rebellion. I was just ready to rock out and get in a mosh pit. It was so amazing to see that intensity live, and then playing something with Jeremy McKinnon from A Day to Remember, A Place for My Head. Just reliving Warped Tour, the performance that they did a few years ago. I remember watching that and absolutely loving that on the one date that Linkin Park played. And it was just an amazing evening full of very, very special people, not just in the world of rock, but also pop music as well. They brought on a lot of the people who helped co-write on One More Light, their newest album. And I have to say, the star of that show was the guy who was playing the guitar, the dude that had the beanie on. I believe his name was John or Johnny, and he did a great job. His voice really, really surprised me, and they also brought out somebody who Chester was a big fan of. It was the lead singer of Civil Twilight, and I never would have guessed that. I like that band a lot. I've always thought that the singer's voice was very, very special, and I did not know that Chester was a big fan of them. So seeing him come out for not only that song, but actually a couple of songs, that was very unexpected and very unique. Just very Chester-like. And they brought out his old bandmates in Dead by Sunrise, which was another emotional moment. And I felt nothing but happiness as I saw a lot of these people just come on stage. And it was weird seeing them maybe sing Chester's parts and seeing somebody like from 1OK Rock or Julia Michaels or Kiara even on her Heavy feature coming in. I think that perhaps maybe right at first I was judging a little bit just because I'm thinking this isn't Chester, but obviously it's not Chester and it's not meant to replace him. And I think that that's what a lot of us need to get into our heads, is that nobody's trying to replace Chester. Linkin Park definitely are not trying to do that. They've been so open and aware and supportive of not only Chester's family and friends, but also just mental health in general. And they've raised so much awareness and money for the One More Light Fund, which is also for Music for Relief, which is an amazing program. I will put a link for that in the description down below, along with a link to this live stream if you did not catch that somehow. There were moments where I felt like I was kind of fading out of the event, or I felt like maybe they were about to wrap it up, but they would do something to just bring you back into that feeling. And they showed clips of Chester's life and him goofing around with the band, him being silly, but also him talking about important issues as recently as July 6th, right after the Manchester attacks in the UK, and talking about how passionately he felt about that and how he preached love. This isn't the video for me to talk about other genres of music and how I feel like they're not uplifting in so many ways, but I feel like a lot of Linkin Park's music, although often sad and angry, there was always an uplifting appeal to many of their songs, something that helped people. And so much of music today, especially with all of the just rap and trap and just the flatlining stuff that we get, I can never see that happening. I mean, I would never want, I'm never wishing this, but I would never want somebody in the rap community to pass away, obviously. But I'm saying if they did, could you see a positive event like this coming from somebody who raps about nothing but, the typical drugs, cars, whatever, or a singer, for example, or a singer-songwriter that's just so obsessive and narcissistic with their lyrics and that sort of thing? Seeing a band that was very selfless much of the time. Yes, they were very popular. Yes, they made lots of money, but at the same time, they really truly seemed to care about their fans. And I know this firsthand just because I actually met the band. I got some time with Chester, which was amazing. I know I've said this several times before, but for anybody who's watching this video and has never seen my channel before, I got to meet Chester. He recognized me from a review. He had retweeted my review of The Hunting Party back in 2014, and right after that, I won a meet and greet with Linkin Park, and I got to go backstage and everything, and Chester came up to me and spoke to me and told me to never stop doing what I'm doing, and something to the effect of, obviously, even if, people aren't always going to agree with you. And obviously Chester had his run-ins with critics and that sort of thing, but it was just really, really nice to hear something like that from somebody I had looked up to since I was 13 years old. And then now, I think seeing everybody tonight come together for an event like this, it just doesn't happen for any band or, any person. You have to be somebody so special for everybody to just drop what they're doing and be like, yes, I can be there. And there had to have been at least 50 guests altogether that came out for this. I'm talking Gavin Rossdale from Bush, the dude from Civil Twilight, Jonathan Davis, Sinister Gates, and M. Shadows from Avenged Sevenfold, all on the same stage at the end during Bleed It Out, and then that going into another amazing version of The Messenger. They did several different versions of that, and it was really, really hard to hear because that is such a Chester song where his voice roars. But I feel like they did it justice by everybody coming together and it just feeling like a community effort. So I'm going to wrap up my thoughts here. I'm going to say fuck depression. I'm going to say check out that link for the One More Light Fund in the description down below. And if you missed the stream, there will be a link for that as well. These were my thoughts on the event, guys. Let me know what you thought. I thought it was a wonderful, wonderful night with so many of their great songs. There was a period where I got lost for a little bit because they played so much off of One More Light, and I wished that they had spread it up a little bit more in terms of the variety there, but then I was made so happy whenever they went through an extremely heavy section where they played everything from A Place to My Head to Rebellion and even Somewhere I Belong. They showed every album some love, so that's fantastic. And seeing Alanis Morissette come out, by the way, amazing. She did great on the song that she was out there for. That was incredible to see her singing on Castle of Glass. It's just one of those things where you never think that that would ever happen. And then Derek from Sum 41 on, are you kidding me? Waiting for the End? Wow. Or, I'm sorry, The Catalyst. That was The Catalyst. Wow, John. It's been a long night. There's been so many special memories created, so many moments. Even MGK coming out, doing a great job, a fine job on the song that he was out there for with his rapping. And just a wonderful evening all in all. Anyways, guys, let me know what you thought about the concert in the comment section down below. Were you there? If so, I'm extremely jealous. What a night for rock music. What a night for Chester. What a night for awareness. Anyways, guys, until next time, I will be back soon with more videos, taking this week off from 7 on Sunday. Just a little bit drained from this past week and everything that's been going on. Not just this, but anyways, I'm taking a week off from SOS. So enjoy this video for now. I'll be back very soon right here on Beyond ARTV.